Welcome everybody, I'm Lizzie Brooks and this is Flow and Go. So I know you don't have a lot of time and we want to get a full body flow going that has a decent amount of challenge with offering for modifications, and then we want to just go about the rest of our day feeling better, more grounded, more open and stronger. So please, if you would, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll get going. Come on and join me in a downward facing dog. Hands down, fingers spread gently wide, root into the fingerprints, really kind of just put that fingerprint down and shift back long, and then we'll go right into that downward dog. Now, this isn't gonna be that we have 2-mile long hamstrings. We're just gonna ease into this downward dog. So pedal it out, initiate slow lengthening of the back body. Let's locate our breathing. And then lower to the knees. Press back, full child's pose. Deep breath here and out. Inhale, rise up. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward dog. Send your right leg hip height behind you and step through into a low lunge. Tent your fingertips here. Get a little longer and then bend the front knee. Lengthen and lunge. One more time, just preparing those hips, lengthen those hamstrings and lunge. Step the foot back, come onto the hands, and you're in your plank pose. Just holding this plank pose without holding your breath. So we're gonna create a little bit of heat here. If you wanna add more, draw the knees in alternating. So a slow mountain climber here. Lift even the ankle to its sitting bone of the leg that's lifting. One more. And then downward dog. Breathing, choosing your breath wisely. And if you haven't set an intention for your practice, even if you're in a bit of a hurry, you can still move and breathe with intention and come maybe into a word or a phrase. That's going to help you. Left leg reaches, hug it in, seal it down into your lunge, tent the fingertips here. Inhale, bring length to that front leg. Exhale, go into that lunge. Bring length and land in the lunge. Once more, length and lunge. Hands down, step it back, plank pose. Option to hold the plank or even put the knees down. And then if you want a little bit more, you'll start with the right knee, hug it in, but this time draw a big circle underneath you. And then reverse that rotation. Draw a circle underneath. And then hug it up and step it back. Downward facing dog, we get a little bit of a break in between. Inhale and side out. Come back to plank. You can do this from all fours too. Left knee this time, drawing a circle. Other direction with that rotation. Then lift it up. And step it back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. We'll come a little bit more into those hamstrings. Bend your knees any amount. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Walking forward, this time into plank for your first vinyasa option. You can skip this and go to child's or downward dog. Heels rock forward. Chaturanga, maybe halfway or maybe all the way to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale, downward dog. Already just feeling how your body is shifting, your breath is shifting just with that little tiny bit of yoga. Look to the top of the mat, take your feet there, however that feels good to you. Inhale, rise halfway up, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, round the spine, and roll up. Bloom the shoulders open and stand in your mountain pose. So getting grounded through the feet and then finding alignment, not just assuming you're in alignment, but really feeling for it. Deep breath in and let that go. we're gonna take a turn. So if you'll face me and I'll face you, we're gonna go into a wider stance here. And then from here, just start to bend, alternating the knees here. Just bending, they're moving over the toes here. A little bit more blood flow to the quads. Good, and then come to center. Now turn your heels in and your toes out, bend the knees, and we'll come into a little bit of a sway side to side here. You can lift alternate toes here, just again into the quads, but this time a little bit more into the hips. Then pause in the center, soften the shoulders, let the arms reach up. Now from here, lift one heel and maybe sit a little bit deeper as long as the sacrum and the low back feel okay. We're opening the groin and down as we strengthen the legs. Lift up other heel, sit a little lower, breathe. And then down, come all the way up to stand, reach, bring your hands to your heart. Soften out the shoulders. This time we'll go a little bit more into a twist and into the shoulders and the back. So bend the knees, we're still in that same goddess squat. You can choose your hand position. I like to turn the fingertips down, you can play with that. Draw the chest forward, bending the elbows. Bend deeply here and you'll feel now equally the groin getting that stretch. Breathe here for a moment. And then we'll transition it to a bit of a twist here. So you'll start to straighten your right arm, take your torso over to the left side, that left elbow bends. You can press the right knee away a little bit and come into a twist here. Really, really amazing for the back and the groin. Come to center. And then we'll go to the other side. So taking the torso over to the right, pressing the left knee gently away. Ground through the feet. And now let's go both sides. Inhale, center. Exhale for a twist. Inhale, center. Exhale for the twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, soften the arms, and then let everything straighten up. You'll reach the arms, lengthen the legs. Hallelujah. Bring the hands to the heart. That feels better on the legs. And then shake it all out. Turn your toes forward. Hop back a little bit here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold any amount. Free the neck here. You can take the ankles or yogi toe lock, shoulder blades onto the back. Breathing. And then rising halfway up, walk the fingertips underneath you and then heel toe or hop the feet under your hips. Okay, so I do recommend a block or something of height on this one. You don't have to. I'm gonna go ahead and take my right hand onto my block underneath my shoulder. My block is in front of my right foot, okay? So you can do this on your fingertips, okay? It's gonna be hard work, so get ready, guys. Bend your knees. Take your first two fingers and thumb of your left hand and take yogi toe lock around that left big toe. So it's just looping it around. Then shift your weight over into your right foot a little bit more. And then from here, lift that left foot by bending the knee off of the ground. Okay, so this is where some of us are gonna stay. You can move your block a little bit more over to the right if that helps you balance better. Then from here, either stay with this or straighten the leg a little bit more, plug the femur into the pelvis and take it any amount out to the side. This is a doozy. So even if you have the knee bent, that's fine. Maybe go a little lower if it's too much. Breathing and exhale, slowly lower that down. Whoo, that's glute strengthening, is it not? And then move your block over to the other side. If you used it a little more diagonal of the lower foot, then set it up that way now. Yogi toe lock, right fingertips and thumb around the right big toe. Bend the knees, lift it up. So you're starting with a bend and you're drawing it in towards you. You can stay there or take it out bent or extend the leg, plug the femur head in, and then taking it out, really working through the sides of the glutes, external rotators, balance, core, all of it. We don't see this one a lot. And lower down with the foot. Put the block underneath you or remove it for your fold. Then fingertips down, bend the knees. We'll come into a squat here. Inner thighs together or close. Hands might come up here, or you can always keep the fingertips down on the floor. Finding that balance, working the ankles and calves. Maybe reach up through the arms. An optional breath of fire. If you don't know it, don't worry about it. Inhale and begin. Inhale. Exhale, float the arms down. Fingertips come down to the floor. You could either go into a fold here, take a vinyasa, or add a crow or crane pose. I'm gonna go for a crane pose. You choose what you need. This is flow and go. You gotta fit in what you're gonna fit in. Hands come down wider than shoulder distance apart. I'm gluing as high up to my upper arm as I can, an X shape with my upper arm and my highest point of my shin bone. Then I'm gonna lift my hips, high heels lifted. There's a major transfer of weight forward as I draw my core, my organs back, and then maybe lift my heels into my sitting bones, pointing my toes back. Breathing here. And coming on down, Malasana. We'll all join in our squat pose. Hips down, toes and knees turned out at the same degree. So we're back into a little bit more of that groin stretch. Free the neck up and relax the jaw. From here, we're gonna walk forward into a plank pose. All right, now listen closely. Your right foot is gonna cross over and tap to the side or near your left outer hand and back. Your left foot is gonna tap outside over to the side of your right hand. They're not touching, so look closely. I'm about 8 inches away and out. It's the outer side of the foot, and we're just gonna tap. From here, you can stay in plank and do this, or you can come in and out of a downward dog with a little more of a shoulder stretch, back and forth. So we're adding a little bit more cardiovascular work through this work. Major upper body, major core. Tapping it to the side, just like you're in a Broadway show. Tap, tap, doing that choreography. All right, don't worry, no one's watching. You're not in a Broadway show. Full plank, deep breath in. Vinyasa, or take a rest in child's pose. If you have stuff going on in your wrists, please go to child's pose instead. I actually feel a little tender in the wrists. I've been doing a few videos today. I'm gonna take that with you. Soften it out. Optional little balance here. This is an awkward one. It opens the shins and the front of the ankles. From here, slide your fingertips back. Shins are down, tops of the feet are down. Plug your fingers into the floor, lift your knees. Good. Now stay here or lean back a little bit, bring your hands to your heart for the balance. So this is really beautiful for the stretching of the front of the ankle. We do so much compressing of the front of the ankle in yoga. This opens it right up, good for the shin, which is then in turn good for the knee. And then lowering down here, optional core lift. Maybe you're gonna put 2 blocks right next to you, as if you press down into them, right, you're gonna lean forward, use that height, or you're gonna put fingertips or palms down. If it's the palms down, the hands come a little more forward than if you're using blocks. Draw from the pubic bone to your low ribs to your sternum, up and in on an exhale, and as you're ready, you can cross one foot on top of the other. Inhale, exhale, see what will lift. Maybe only the knees will lift, maybe the feet will lift, maybe nothing will lift, but you're still engaging. And lower down, shake that out. Nice. And then you can either do that again and hop through, or you can walk through, or send your hip to one side and swing the legs forward. Shake it all out. Soles of the feet down to the floor, hands come behind you, fingertips can point in to the sides or back, shoulders roll back, press into the feet, lift up, tabletop. Breathing in your tabletop position, and then wake up your inner thighs a little bit more. Press into the floor a little bit more to open the shoulders. So we're working the glutes and the hamstrings, working those back muscles, but really getting a stretch in the shoulders. Inhale here, exhale here. From here, walk your left foot a little bit more in towards the midline, bend your right knee, and maybe extend that leg, spread the toes. So strengthening. And then we'll externally rotate, cross that ankle to the top of the left knee, lower down. Then from here, you can scooch any amount closer in and either stay here with the hands interlaced in front of your left shin or back behind you for a hip opener, or maybe rock a little side to side and get into that right hip a little differently. We'll have the option for a little more in just a second. And then you can stay with any of those options, but if you can reach with a strap or with your hands over, you have to go over that right shin, you might be able to lift the foot, lean back, and then extend. Shoulders roll back here, breathing. If that didn't work today, do not waste one brain cell thinking about it. That's a very odd way to get into things. Don't worry about it. And then from here, setting that foot down, lean back, uncross, and just shake out the legs a little bit. Point the toes, then press through the heels. We'll come back into our tabletop. So choose the hand position that works best for your shoulders, wrists, and elbows. Rising up, waking up again the inner thighs because they kind of want to splay out, so you're drawing them towards the midline. And then right foot comes a little more towards the midline, left knee in. Stay here or extend the leg. Keep lifting the hips, opening the shoulders. Good. And then externally rotate, place, lower the hips, and you've got this nice externally rotated left leg. Now, again, you can kind of stay here, you can hold on here or under. You can open the chest here. Maybe rock a little side to side. So that one always kind of brings me into a range of motion that I feel like I don't get enough of, so it's really useful. And then if you want, dive over, lean back a little bit, and then see if you can find that foot and extend through the hamstrings, spread the toes, shoulders roll back, breathing here in your balance. It's a modified boat pose. It's actually a modification of a lot of different poses put together. So breathing here. And then very carefully coming out, unwind, and shake the legs out. And then from here, you can either hop over or step. We'll do another vinyasa. You have an option to do 0, 1, 2, or 3 vinyasas with only down dog in between, not coming to standing. Are you ready? Come on down. Breath is key. Plank, chaturanga, back bend of your choice, downward dog. Breathing here. Find the mindset that's going to support you. Stay here or plank, bending, lengthening, and coming back downward dog. Find home in your breath. Last one, plank, chaturanga dandasana. Back bend that feels right today. Downward facing dog. And then lower down, child's pose, roll the wrists out. Getting back onto your back, you can either come off to your hips, swing the legs forward, or hop through or walk through. Slowly lower down. And then just widen the feet and windshield wiper the legs side to side, gently opening the hips and letting a softness come to the low back. From here, soles of the feet down. Keep the low ribs coming towards the floor, lift the pelvis. Stay here or lift the pelvis a little higher and let the ribs follow along. Arms where you want them. Opening where we condensed a lot at the front of those hips today. And then exhaling slowly, reversing back down. And set yourself up for Shavasana. And just visualize everything that you need to get done today going completely smoothly. You took these around 20 minutes for yourself, and so now you have a little bit more inward connection, a little bit more space in the body, strength in the body. I really appreciate that you joined me, that you chose Lizzie Brooks Yoga and Fitness. It really means the world to me. If you could hit subscribe, that's huge. I really hope to grow. This is all free, and growth is really kind of dictated by the viewers. So thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.